chug some beers and make some bad gambling picks. Welcome to ChuggieBets.
I don't remember.
Oh, it was the wings. He was getting wings.
I think they were a specific type of chicken wing. They were like extra hot, but it was a dry rub extra hot. Oh no. I don't remember. Maybe it was some sort of dry on the wings and then extra hot dipping sauce. That's what it was.
Yeah, okay. He had dry rub on him with extra hot dipping
sauce on the side guy.
They were delicious, dude. I'm usually like, I love my wings extra saucy. These were great, as is.
I always got the buffalo tender basket that came with like a whole chicken's worth of buffalo tenders. That was enormous, and it was like $6, and it was just like you were full after that. You didn't even need fries.
There's a sports bar. A sports bar right around the corner.
I got fries. I'm not saying I didn't get them. I'm saying you didn't need fries.
You always need fries. The sports bar right around the corner, though, it's got like typically like shitty food. It's like the typical frozen Cisco shit that they just like heat up and serve, right? And it's always like a little bit overpriced. But the good thing they have is chicken tenders, and they have Cajun ranch, just ranch with Cajun seasoning mixed in it. It's so great.
Delicious.
And I get that every time. It's the only thing I eat there. And then the beers are like $4 for a pint. I'm like, hell yeah.
Half
players.
Cajun ranch, you mean half mayonnaise, half what is it? Heavy? Is it heavy? What's the other one in it?
Buttermilk.
Buttermilk, yeah. Half buttermilk, half heavy duty mayonnaise, and then a package of Hidden Valley Ranch seasoning, and then they just add some Cajun seasoning in there too.
Delicious.
Yeah, I love that shit. I miss working in the restaurant.
All right.
Speaking of bar food, I just want to tell you the journey that I went down today, talking about hot dogs. So after,
you guys go on the hot dogs?
So after I was telling you guys about the hot dogs, I went down this rabbit hole of hot dogs in South Florida, and none of them were near you. None of the hot dogs I was talking about. And, I spent a lot of time doing it. And then I spent a lot of time drafting that text message. And Kara looked over my shoulder and read. And she was like, "You care way too much about hot dogs." And I was like, "I do."
They're all the same, man.
Get out of here. Get out of here.
No, they're totally not the same. So
the only difference is the toppings. The only difference is the toppings.
There are essentially two kinds of hot dogs. There's the we boil our dogs and there's no snap to it and it's fine. It's the kind you get on a barbecue grill, unless you char the shit out of it. There's no texture to it. It's just like a bologna tube. And then there's the ones in the casing that snap, like your Costco dogs, etc., that are just a significantly better bite. Those are the good hot dogs.
I understand what you're saying, Al, and what I'm saying is they taste pretty much the same. There's a small difference.
Okay.
There's a small difference. I always thought it was because of the way they're cooked, I thought that it was just the hot dog roller versus.
I think it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Because a hot dog on the grill is definitely better, or a hot dog roller is definitely better than a boiled dog. Is definitely better than roller, I think, is the best way to go. But charred would be second.
I think a really hot flat top is the way to do a hot dog.
That's the best dog. It's slept on. Because it's a ridiculous thing to order at a deli or a diner or whoever has a flat top, but they're so good. They get that crisp bite. But
do you know how they get the crispiness though? It's not on the flat top. They deep fry those hot dogs. Is how they get them hot, and then they put them on they finish them on the flat top. That's why they're so fucking good.
Yeah, maybe both.
Yeah, but I'm with Danny. I think the way you cook it makes the snap. And I understand the boil, but boiling is the superior way to cook a hot dog if you're going to have more than two toppings. If you're going to do ketchup mustard, you can do it any way you want. But if you're going to put sport peppers
no way
it's
on it, superior.
It is superior.
I don't know. I mean,
the only way it's superior is in its ease.
No, dude, it's better. I don't know why, but you don't have a hot dog with 19 toppings on it, and it's from the grill. It just makes no sense.
I disagree. Best hot dog I've ever had, Wiener Circle, Chicago style hot dog, obviously char dog. And I mean, and to go against Danny here, that could be the best hot dog I've had in my life because of the atmosphere itself. And if you're not familiar with it, Google it.
Atmosphere is different. I'll give you that. It's the old draft beers, which is the best beers conversation.
Yeah. I mean, Danny's like, airport beer is the best beer. Well,
It is.
Well, it
It
tastes
is.
better. It tastes better.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't taste better. What do they? Are they pumping recycled air through the beers like they do in the airplanes? Like, how would it taste better?
I don't know. I think that there's I think there's something to be said about a draft tap that's always being used. It's never at rest.
24-hour tap.
It's true.
Yep, and it's literally like if you go and you find the Miller Lite tap at a highly trafficked bar, then it's going to literally always be pulled.
Yeah. I think Sonny and I kind of had the same vibe going with. He said a dive bar hot dog was a good one, and I was saying a place that's specifically does hot dogs.
Super
And I think
Peros,
that's kind of the same thing. You're looking for a place that like the hot dog is the star on the menu. That's going to be a good hot dog.
Super Peros in Miami. There were some nights that we
I love a super pearl.
Yeah.
super.
made it there with the little potatoes on top and the
The
pink
little
sauce.
crunchies and the pineapple.
Pineapple,
I'd
yeah.
rather put pureed pineapple on a hot dog. Shit.
I'll tell you, Matt, you kind of ruined my day when you said the word vegan hot dog because it gave me PTSD to the one time I had a vegan hot dog, which I was out drinking in Riverside here in town. It's like the hipster area. And there was a hot dog vendor, and I was like, oh, I need a hot dog. And I wait in line. I get up there, and I'm like, oh, let me get a hot dog. He goes, they're vegan hot dogs. And I was immediately like, no. And he was like, no, they're good, though. It's like you won't be able to tell. It was the most disgusting thing I've ever put in my mouth. I ate it because I paid money for it, and I'm a disgusting person. But I wish I hadn't. It tasted like it was the texture of a crock-potted carrot, like pot roast with carrots and potatoes. You know, like carrot that's like just mush, but like tube shaped still. That's what it tasted like.
So I had a Impossible Burger, Beyond or Impossible. Beyond or Impossible, or one of them. Was it a vegan that told you?
No, it was Christine.
So I had one of those at like we were all going out to eat at work, and like we like rotate who picks, and like the vegan came and picked this restaurant, and it was terrible, man. It was bad. I should have gotten the chicken like everybody else did. Apparently they all knew because she's done this to them before. But yeah, so they all got the chicken. They said it was fine, but I tried to eat this burger, and the way you described that hot dog kind of made me feel like it tasted kind of like I knew I was eating vegetables. I definitely knew it wasn't meat, but they had pumped so much chemicals in it to try and make it taste like meat that it felt like I was eating like mushed up black beans that were like soaked in like cleaner or something.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. It was bad. I hated it. I couldn't eat
Yeah.
that much of it. And also I knew how unhealthy it is for me. It's like I'm not gonna waste all of these calories on this like disgusting tasting thing.
Yeah, the like overly, like excessively overconfident, like vegan mentality really like is like the cherry on top of like the whole like shitty food culture. Like 'cause every vegan is like, it's so delicious. This tastes just like a steak, and I'm like, it tastes like a stick, not a steak.
There's definitely
But,
good
like,
vegan
don't
food out there,
pretend.
but
Yeah,
there's definitely
don't-
good vegan food out there, but it's like
Don't be
vegan food
pretentious.
that's supposed to be vegan food. Like
It's
not a
it's
concept.
salad. It's salads, man.
carnivorous food made in a vegan fashion, right? Like,
Exactly.
there's a lot of
Exactly.
If it were a contest, it should be about the food tasting good and
Dude.
not about your, personal beliefs about animals. I don't know. Hot take, I
nutrition
guess.
or responsibility for responsible farming, all that kind of. There's lots of different reasons people decide to
Yeah.
be vegan, but
And they're all good reasons. But
they're all better reasons than I decide to eat meat, which is I like it.
yeah, it tastes good.
But like, if you're a vegan and then you also like water your lawn, then you're also doing bad things, right? Because isn't that another thing that we're not supposed to do? That
Yeah,
it's just as bad as eating meat.
yeah. Having a yard is like a cardinal sin.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna keep doing it because mowing the lawn is one of my favorite things.
Did you guys all see the Cleveland Browns logo revamp? They have like some candidates for their new logo, and they are the most like Bobo ass clip art looking like terrible logos. I'm gonna see if I can like How does
What's
Andy
the logo now?
share?
Isn't it just like a helmet? Or
Yeah, I think
it's
so.
a fairy thing or whatever that is.
I think
right?
it's.
Oh,
I think
the elf
it's-
guy?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that guy. Well, I think that like everything you sent over today, I was like, that all looks like something I'd see on in Athens, Georgia, like around the Bulldogs.
No, it looks like you're playing 1996 like football video game and you make your own team and it's like the East Rutherford Bulldogs and that's the
Yeah.
option you get because that's the best option that they have. The rest is just like squiggly yellow and blue lines.
Well, I
Like,
mean,
look at
like-
how bad these are. Like this guy is like okay, but also looks super clip arty. But it all looks like they were made by like dudes with bad tattoos.
That's a good way to put it. You know, there's going to be a lot of dudes with bad tattoos of whatever logo they pick.
Yes. Oh, like the guy with the Tasmanian devil tattoo was like, these are the top 5.
It does look like it belongs on a shirt with Bugs Bunny in 1996. Right? Like the Chris
No
Cross-
fear.
No fear Warner Brothers mashup T-shirt that they were selling at gas stations.
Like
Them
Taz
and
and Bugs should be
eat
wearing their clothes backwards.
Exactly. The crisscross.
The crisscross, exactly.
Make you jump.
All right, so if you guys haven't been able to tell, we're totally winging it this week. Don't really have an agenda to go over. One thing I wanted to touch base on, though, is the NFL schedule release. So let's chug a beer. Let's think about the best games available for your team, and then see. We'll make predictions on how many primetime games our teams get. Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, friends.
The sad thing is, I didn't even know the NFL schedule got released.
It hasn't yet.
So it's supposed to come out Thursday. There was some news that it might be delayed, and then Adam Schefter came out with that tweet today, which actually I'm going to pull that up because was it just me that found that funny, but it cracked me up. He said like channels or NFL games are free agents. What did he say?
Yeah, all NFL games are free agents.
Games don't necessarily belong to networks anymore. All games are free agents.
I think what he's meaning is
what
that
the
like
fuck
CBS
that
doesn't get like the Dolphins.
They don't have
anymore,
exclusive rights to a game
AFC or whatever,
by
yeah.
default. Yeah.
I thought
Well,
that.
I was just wondering.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just wondering if like I haven't looked into it, but is Apple getting any sort of rights to NFL games? Like,
Yeah, I think they're going to do Tuesday Night Football on VH1.
What?
No, I'm just fucking.
Oh,
Don't interfere with my Mac.
Yeah.
Well, they were saying Amazon's been disappointed by the streaming numbers, and everyone's going to still get involved, right? Because the NFL has been bad, but Thursday Night Football is way down.
I
Way-
mean,
I thought
like,
they had
every-
like really good success with the game or two they did last year. No.
Amazon
They-
owned all Thursday night last year.
Yeah, they had all Thursday
Oh.
night last year. The streaming numbers were down, but apparently they were happy about the subscriptions that popped up at the beginning of the season.
Mm.
So I don't think Amazon makes a whole lot of bad choices. And
I-
when
I'm
they do,
not-
they cut bait. So we'll know if Amazon thinks this was a bad choice by if they continue doing football.
I'm not
I-
doubting Lord Bezos. I'm sorry, Jeff, if you're listening, I know you're listening. You're a genius. All right. No one's questioning you.
I also want to point out that nationwide, this is weird that I can say this, but on-premise drinking numbers have gone up as people have started to leave their houses.
Hell yeah.
And,
Good for us.
I mean, like, so a lot of those new Amazon Prime subscriptions were probably bars, and they probably had asses in seats. Not as many people watching from home anymore.
How long does it take Amazon Prime to deliver a bar?
I
Do you
bet,
still get it in 2 days?
well, yeah, with the right funds, we could get it done in 2 days. Whole bar.
I don't know, but one more footnote in that Adam Schefter tweet is he said teams can be on Thursday Night Football twice as part of the new rules or
Wow.
changes they made, and I immediately thought, oh, that means the Jags are going to get 2 Thursday Night Football games because they love to give the Jags the worst primetime games.
Absolutely, the Jazz get screwed every time.
They're like, oh, you got a team, you got a 9 a.m. slot, in a different country, I got
So-
the team for you.
Do you think that has more to do with the fact that they're in Jacksonville or that they have a minority owner?
I think no, not. It has nothing to do with him being a minority owner. I think
I
it's
don't
a
know. Rich
small
white guys
market,
tend to like
and I
other
think-
rich white guys.
Colin is
think-
pretty powerful. He's not. I don't think.
Yeah.
He's definitely a powerful man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like, I don't know.
and I think he's actually pretty. I think he's not one of the guys nobody likes, like Snyder, who's a rich white guy that they all hated. They should have been screwing over Washington with the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, as far as billionaires go, I think Shad Khan's like
a decent.
far down the totem pole of like lists of ones you would kill first blood.
But he's far
You
down the
know.
total bowl of lists the ones we would kill. But I think there's like in the NFL ownership group.
Yeah, he's definitely the one that the room
they might
gets
want-
quiet when he walks in.
But they might want the ones that we want to kill in the NFL. Is my point.
Would you rather have your owner have to deal with that, or like the Lions owner who like so one of the other owners thought she was like a secretary and like asked her to get him a cup of coffee or something.
That's pretty bad.
Because
That's-
women don't belong in the boardroom, right?
Well, that's just science, but that's a really bad deal for the organization.
It's nuts.
Can I go on Thursday Night Football? Look, I know this is going to sound anti-football, and I'm sorry, but Thursday Night Football sucks. The only good thing about Thursday Night Football is that you can always bet the under, because you can always bet the under because the game sucks. I almost rather that be a college football spot, because college football games are bad in general, right? But
they get like 4 buys in college, so they can have like schedule the Thursday game after both teams have a bye, and then give them a bye after, so it's not always killing the players.
Yeah, like I know this is a bad take because I love watching football like anybody likes watching football, but it's so bad. The game is never good. Anyone have thoughts? Am I just by myself?
Yeah.
on this?
So go ahead.
I'm totally cool with Thursday. I'm totally cool with Thursday football, but I do think they need to find a way to schedule it so you're never playing Thursday after you played Sunday or Monday. So you can only play a Thursday game after a bye. So they need to stagger the buys in the Thursday games more.
I saw someone was like, "Get rid of Thursday night football," and I'm going to lean the other way. I'm going to say, keep it. Also, add Wednesday night football.
Okay.
And here's the thing. Also, so on an actual serious note, I think part of the rules or the changes they're making is that every team doesn't have to get a primetime spot, which means you're not having to put all the shitty teams on Thursday night. You don't have to put any shitty teams out there. It can only be good ones. So then your product automatically, I think, is going to elevate a little bit. But I do think the scheduling thing is like a problem that they need to address. And I know the NFL wants to expand their like season length. They want to be like a year-round network that's like in front of eyeballs. So I don't know why they haven't added like 2 more bye weeks. Every team should get 3 bye weeks. You have, you can still have, 8 games or however many games a week, and your teams get rest. Your season's like 5 weeks longer.
Playing 90 minutes of soccer every week is too exhausting for a lot of players, and they need a break. Soccer. That's too much. 100. What was it? 60 minutes of football you play, right? 60 minutes.
Yep.
60 minutes of football every week is ridiculous. This is not something they should be trying to do. It should be games every other week. It should be a bye every week.
I said this in the
just play for 34 weeks.
In the middle of the season, they should have like apology day, right? Where they take all the teams just have one giant bye, and you apologize for ignoring your family for that week, right? And then you make it up to them, right? In week 9, right in the middle of the week, you have to go hang out with your family that week, and you say, "Babe, let's take the family out and let's go have a picnic on a Sunday because
it's a national holiday."
It should be a national
fantastic idea.
Apology day, and you get a normal bye, right? So who cares? Like they should end the season on President's Day Sunday anyway, so then you get Monday off for a lot of Americans get Monday off. It's so easy. It's so easy to fix this, and that gives you an extra week.
This is not a difficult fix, right? We have 32 teams. That's 16 games a week. We need about 8 more games, right? We need about 8 more games per week, so we need to add 16 more teams.
That we can do.
So we add teams.
All right,
we add teams. It's not like there's not enough money to support this right now, right? So we just add teams in like Mexico City, London, Paris,
Portland.
Portland. There you go. Yeah.
Pop quiz. the NFL is expanding to 48 teams. Everyone pick one college coach that gets the call up to the pros.
Ooh.
I mean, I think the obvious one is Nick Saban, right?
I mean, he's
Tried
He's
my
old
best.
though. He's not going to do it.
It's Kirby Smart.
I'm
Kirby
going.
Smart's a good one. I think Lincoln Riley.
I'm going Harbaugh from Michigan. He's done it before. He'll be back.
Harbaugh
There's
wants
a
he's a good
surprisingly
one.
large amount of like college coaches that have thorough NFL experience.
I don't think he had bad NFL experience either. I mean, Harbaugh was
Yeah.
successful, and he kind of manages that team. Doesn't super talented, and he gets a lot out of them. And granted, they're very talented, but they're not like overwhelmingly talented with 5 stars. He does really well with it. I'd pick Harbaugh.
I think he likes being in college though, because after 4 years, he really would start to grate on any person. So you get 2, 3, 4 years max, and you're out of his hair. That's like the perfect amount of Jim Harbaugh.
Isn't that pretty much how he lasted in all of his jobs until he got to Michigan, though? He was like Stanford for about 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then he went to San Francisco for about 2 or 3 or 4 years, and then he went to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what the exact timeline was, but yeah, I'm sure it was wearing out your welcome.
Because he never left any of those as an unsuccessful guy. Like Stanford was on top of their game when he left, and San Francisco, I think, had just like won the NFC Championship or something.
Yeah, they won the
Or was
Super
the season
Bowl.
after that? It was the season after that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always been successful. I can't really think of another college coach. I don't think Kirby Smart. I mean, it ain't Dabo Sweeney, that's for sure. They would run. Honestly,
Actually, get
I
Dabo
would
Sweeney
love
out.
to see
Yeah.
it.
I mean,
I would love to see
I would
them
love to
tell
see it.
you
I would love to see him like get who was the Cardinals guy, that the handsome one that got canned?
Kingsbury.
Kingsbury. I would love to see the Kingsburyification of Dabo,
Sweeney.
you know, where it's like he goes in all thumbs up, and like a year later, he's like, you know, he's just, each year that passes, he looks like he's more about to like jump off a bridge.
He starts as like the youth pastor, and he leaves as like the exorcist priest. Like,
Yeah.
He's the Steve Buscemi meme with him holding a skateboard, like, "Hello, fellow kids." Trying to be cool and relatable.
Actually, did you see shit, who was it? John McEnroe was on the sidelines for like a Bucks game recently, and he literally had the backwards red baseball cap on, and I was like, he literally looks like the Steve Buscemi meme.
Fred Durst, you
mean?
He always does that, and it's like Adam Sandler when he walks around New York City in like triple extra large basketball shorts. I kind of dig it. It's just him. Like, he's not trying to be cool, but he's just like, this is me, and he's not annoying about it. Not like Dabo Sweeney because Dabo's very annoying when he breathes, and he's more annoying than everything else after that. So McEnroe's fine. He's lame, but I think he owns it. I'm good with that.
Like, tell me that's not like exactly. Also, this would be really funny if we ever had Zach on the podcast to like have this be the link to BBC.
Oh, that's great.
I keep going on the NFL question. Which cities do you think definitely need a team? Or if you're gonna say so and so needs a second team, that's fine. But
Memphis.
Toronto.
I like that.
Toronto. Why the hell does Toronto not have a team?
Well, hell, if we're gonna throw Toronto, let's get Montreal in there too.
Well, so Montreal's had professional sports and they never supported it, like in the American level of professional sports. But Toronto has baseball. They have hockey. They have basketball.
Canadians are very protective, I think, of their Canadian football. They don't root for American football.
Yeah, hey, Tiger Cat fan till I die.
You're a big fan of Hamilton, eh?
A buddy of mine played there.
You don't like the Argonauts?
Nah, he didn't play for the Argonauts. Is there a team called the Argonauts?
Toronto. It's where Ricky. I only know that because that's where Ricky Williams played during the year that he retired for a little bit before he came back.
Anything else on the college football front before we delve into some ish?
Nope. I'm good.
What Matt, you mentioned college football playoffs. What What were you
Yeah,
thinking?
it's super exciting, guys. Are you ready for a 12-team college football playoff? Let me take a step back.
Does that happen this year?
No, next year. I
Okay.
wish it was this year. But next year in 2024, the 2025 season, it goes from a football playoff of 4 teams to 12.
That's a big
Um,
jump.
Let's open this up for discussion. Are you guys happy that it's going from 4 to 12? Do you think that makes a better product or a worse product?
Who gets the buys?
Yeah, I have questions. How's it? You know,
Is
like
it double elimination?
does it affect the season?
I'm glad you asked. So the top 4 seeds get a bye, and then they go into a bowl game. Those games will be on New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. And I'll go through the schedule a little bit more. But I think 4 is the worst number. I would have preferred the BCS system than 4 because you can't even be a conference winner and get into the playoffs at that point. Like if all 5 conference winners are there, it's like, well, sorry, Pac-12 or ACC, you don't get in this year. It's really dumb. I would have preferred. It's better to have the top 2 teams play. That's my hot take today. I'm happy they're going to 12, and I want more meaningful college football.
12 seems like a lot.
I love it. I love it so much. I don't think there's a better number. I think 16 is a close second best number, but 12 is the best number, and it's because there are never 13 undefeated teams in college football at the end of the year. So if you go undefeated at any, in any conference, if you win every game you play, regardless of what conference you're in, if you play Division I football, you should have a shot to win the national championship. And this essentially affords you that. So yeah, and like Matt said, you can be a Power 5 conference champion and not make the playoffs. And what the fuck is the point of anything if that's the case? So, yeah.
So
I feel like the conference championships. I feel like if you win the regular season conference, I know that we do these conference championship games for more money and stuff. I'm a bigger fan of winning the regular season than you are. I think that conferences, every team should play each other in the regular season, and whoever wins that should get in.
Yeah.
And then you have the playoff. That's how I would do it. And then you have the other games and stuff. You can still have a conference championship game. I just think it should be meaningless. It should be just to say who won the conference.
So, I mean, why are we even having a football season then? Let's just have the SEC play and that's it.
So there is
basically what we have been doing for 15 years.
That's a conference championship. It's
that right there.
The SEC. It's the SEC West. So the cool thing is, right? So 5 through 12 have to play each other, right, before they get to the top 4, which is great, right? So if you are in the top 4 ranking, there is value, but 5 through 12 have to play each other. The cool thing is 5, 6, 7, and 8 get to host a home game for the play.
Oh, yeah. At their home stadium, not at a
and
neutral
this is
site.
December 20th and December 21st. So Friday night and Saturday, early afternoon, late evening. So the tricky part here is this is usually an NFL spot. So I'm curious to see how this all will be managed. But with that being said, if you're an athletic director, do you prefer to be a 5 seed over being a 4 seed? The reason being is you get the value of having everyone come to your town, the hotels go up, you get to charge as much money as you want at the gate, and you're likely going to go to the quarterfinal game afterwards.
I think it depends on the money, and I don't know enough. I'm not, I don't think anyone knows enough about what money actually changes hands and into whose hands to determine that. But I do think you make a good point that there probably are circumstances where a team would rather be the 5 seed and host a game and have to play, especially a 12 seed, which typically any top 5 team is going to be able to beat someone outside the top 10.
The 5 seed is going to be more valuable to the school than the 4 seed is. Absolutely.
But I do think getting a bye is also very important, because you could have that 12 seed beat that 5 seed, and then you wouldn't be playing that team next, but whatever the seeding matches up. I don't know. I think it's also dangerous to try and be like, let's try and win, but not by
Yeah.
that much. So maybe we drop it. I don't, like it's a whole game you don't want to have to play. It's more a matter of lucking into it and / doing the old FIFA move where you maybe slide some money to
So
powers that be to be like, hey, maybe make us a 5
so
instead
why
of a
not
4.
just make it 16 and let like Alabama and Georgia blow out, Florida State and Miami in the first round at home?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I mean, I'm fine with that too. Like I said, it's a very close second best option in my opinion.
So there may be financial
16 is just-
consideration if you make the top 4, right? You may get a certain class of more money. I'm saying for the local economy,
Oh,
That's a
out of
good
the
idea.
out of the bowl game,
That's
you
a
get
good-
more money.
yeah, I would imagine
So
like
like they go 70-30 with the bowl game, but you got an extra game earlier.
exactly, you
So
get all the local
okay.
revenue.
The So the only real like negative that people point out to about expanding the playoffs is, well, there's two things. One is it's like more games for players that aren't necessarily getting
Yeah.
paid enough. But I mean that part has sort of been addressed at this
Eh.
point. But these are like kids, that we don't need to be adding more games to their season. We're doing it for our pure enjoyment. But then there's the aspect of like the rest of the bowl games. There's what 100 bowl games, 70 bowl games, however many bowl games they are. They play every year, and it's like
35 or 40, yeah.
it really dilutes those. And you also, if you're taking over the whole like time slots where those games would have gone, those games kind of fall by the wayside. I mean, people like us who are going to watch those games regardless probably don't care as much, but I think if you're a kid who, was amped about being in the Holiday Bowl or whatever and like have a primetime slot where everyone can watch you, and now you're playing on a Wednesday afternoon because all the weekend slots are filled with playoff games, you're kind of like, well,
Yeah,
that's
that
shitty.
sucks. The truth is ESPN owns 95% of the bowls. Outside of Barstool owns one and CBS owns like a couple. I think they're going to make sure that they're going to have a product of football on at all times when there's no it sucks. You're right. You may see some people who won't get to play Saturday. They'll be playing Thursday. It sucks, but I think
It's not that big
I
a deal. I don't think
love
at the end of
the
the day.
concept of the home game though. If you got Wisconsin in late December and you got USC coming into town, oh, what a misery that is. Talk about a home field advantage. They are going to allow people to opt to go to a bigger stadium somewhere nearby if you want. Say it's like a Blizzard in Madison and it's easier to go to Milwaukee or whatever and like host a game in like a heated dome. But I think that's ridiculous.
Oh, I just realized this is going to turn into a whole thing where schools are lobbying for public funds to revamp their stadiums because they lost their playoff game
Most schools
because
are
of
already
weather
public
instead of
funds.
like they didn't have a roof on it and shit. I don't know. I can just see that
Most
becoming
schools
a
are
whole
already
thing.
public funds, so their stadiums are built with public funds.
Right, but they don't build new stadiums every 10 years. But they will now.
I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I think what
I don't
Matt's
know.
saying will be more likely they'll find the highest capacity stadium nearby to play the game at.
Oh, hell no. I would host it in like, say, for example, Tallahassee, right? They really depend on those 7 home games, the restaurants.
That's a very high capacity stadium, so they're going to host that there. I'm
Yeah.
saying like Michigan's still going to play at home. It's the highest capacity stadium nearby to play at,
What about a team like Cincinnati, or who else made like a deep run as like a unexpected, and they
TCU?
almost made the playoff? TCU, yeah, but there was like someone else recently in the past like 5 or 10 years who like just missed out on the playoffs, and they were like not a big school. But seeing a team like that get in, a Baylor or some shit, Iowa State, and be like high enough ranked where they are hosting a playoff game. Like that could be a very cool experience.
I think it's going to be awesome. I love the home game. And to Danny's point, it may be advantageous to go to 16, but I think it's kind of cool to get a break. You probably get to go home and see your family for a little bit before you have to get prepared.
They live at home.
Well, I'm saying like if you're not you went to school.
Oh, you mean go home for the holidays?
Exactly. You may be able to go for a couple days, maybe go early Christmas instead of having to go from a game on December 20th to the quarterfinals which will be played.
Or they can like study for their finals because that's when the bowl games are being played.
Yeah, no.
What about like Tuscaloosa or Athens? You know, it must suck knowing that you're never going to be able to host a playoff
It's
game.
a bummer. It's a bummer. The cool thing is, so we got to talk about that first round. Then there's 10 days off before the quarterfinal happens, which is one on New Year's Eve, the other 3 on New Year's Day. You got, and it's all the big players. You got Fiesta, Chick-fil-A, Rose, and Sugar. So it's going to be an awesome experience. New Year's Day bowl games are going to just be the highlight of the playoffs into the quarterfinal round.
Yeah.
I don't imagine those rounds are going to be very good. The semifinal rounds haven't been very good in the past. Last year was the anomaly with Georgia and Ohio State being great and TCU, Michigan being great. But hey, it's power. It's important football on New Year's Day.
God, those were such good games.
They were. But I think what's really
Maximum Dugan. So good.
I think what's really interesting is the semifinal. So you got those games 9 days later again. You have the Orange Bowl and the Cotton Bowl hosting the semifinal games. And those games,
Sorry.
Those games are on a Thursday and a Friday, January 8th and 9th. I get why they're doing it. They're not competing against the NFL on playoff weekend, right? I think that's when the NFL playoffs start.
Yeah.
I know I'm going to love watching very important college football semifinal games on a Thursday and Friday night. I don't know how the rest of America is going to feel if they're like, well, I had to watch this game till 1 a.m. or midnight.
I don't think they're going to care.
I don't know if you guys have any thoughts on these games, just on random Thursday and Friday night semifinal games that really matter.
I feel like things have sort of swung back to where they're not starting these games super late anymore. Like, if it's a West Coast team, they still do, but like, I feel like the Super Bowl started early enough and
Same
ended
time.
early enough
It
where
was
it
the same
wasn't
time it always
stupid.
is. It's always
Yeah.
6 o'clock.
I don't know.
6:25 or whatever is the kickoff every year.
I feel like I've seen games ending before 11 o'clock, and I'm like, this is great. They should do this more.
Yeah.
So
maybe
the Panthers have been very kind recently with that 6:30 puck drop. Whoo!
That's the best. That's the premium time.
Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
And the Marlins have been starting just before 7 too. And with these new rules, man,
They're
those
done by
games-
8:30.
It's not
You
pretty,
don't
but-
even have the kids.
I mean,
in
we had
bed
a
and the
13
game's
inning
over.
game to lead into the Panthers game yesterday, which was pretty nice.
Oh.
And the only other note is the national championship will be played on Monday, like it always is, and I'm sure it'll be 9:15 kickoff, like it always is, and just like a pain in the ass. But I was really excited when I read all the playoff opportunities, like this whole new playoff system. I'm in for it. I didn't know if you guys would be in the same position or tell me I'm an idiot.
I wonder if the competition with the NFL was the biggest hurdle to get over and figuring out when to have these games and how to schedule it all out. And once they sort of figured that out with the NFL behind closed doors, they were like, "Yep, this is happening now."
I'm sure it was.
'Cause it's gonna be so much more of a financial boon to all parties involved. So I'm excited. Plus, it's gonna be so great as a fan. Like, that's gonna be a solid like month and a half of fantastic football weekends.
And not just the bowl games.
Like
You-
long.
You have a chance
Yeah.
to watch your favorite team play like 3 times more. I mean, granted, there's injury risk, there's money. Hopefully, they're building in some sort of financial compensation for the players that make it to each round. I mean, that would be ideal, but college football has been a little bit of a laggard to that in the past. But I would imagine if you're playing 16 games in a season because you had to get to a conference championship game, and then you have to play like the play-in round to the next round. Hopefully, I guess 17 games. Yeah.
Kids
First
aren't going
round.
to play, man.
What's up?
The kids that are going high aren't going to play.
Are they going to get rid of? I guess they're not, of course, because they're not going to get rid of games. But I was going to say, could they get rid of conference championship games?
They could and just play the regular season.
I wish they would.
But I don't really see anyone pushing to lessen the number of games played. So
Those are
probably
money
not.
makers for the conference, though.
You have a situation where college kids are going to play as many games as the NFL potentially, and they're going to get paid a lot less.
That's 13 before you make the playoffs, and
4 if you make
another
it
4
from the
games,
play
so
into the final.
17. Yeah, that's a full NFL season that everyone at Bama is going to be playing every year.
No, they're not. They don't have to play the first round, bud. 16.
Oh, right.
But Ohio State's going to end up playing. Those
Yeah.
Ohio State players are going to have an extra game. But let's be clear though, they don't actually play every week because college football scheduling.
That's true. That's true.
No, but that's how many games they're
Okay,
going to play.
that's how many times they prepare for a football game. But like, they're not playing a real football game every week. They're playing a high school twice, sometimes 3 times if you're the SEC.
Oh, okay.
That's true.
Sure. Vanderbilt.
4 times if you're the SEC.
All right, that's good topic, man. That was awesome. I'm so excited for football, and now I'm pissed that it's still a year
Yeah,
away.
I still think that they need to be taken, even in college, to at least 10 days between games. I think that this trying to play every week is dumb. Watching Premier League guys trying to do it every week and not be able to because they get hurt all the time. Maybe I'm just jaded because I've been a Chelsea fan and we're always hurt. And we've been playing twice a week.
You're conflating a few different things.
We've been playing twice a week too. But
yeah, also most of the top half of the Premier League table plays like 2 games a week at least.
But just the number of injuries that come from soccer.
Well, the good news is Chelsea will be playing a lot less games next year, so hopefully there'll be a lot less.
And we have 1,000 players. We have 1,000 players.
They've secured freedom from relegation, though, right? Officially,
They get to go to the beach. That's the old statement.
Not that it was ever a real threat, but they sure did make it interesting. Scoring 2 goals in the whole month of April.
I will tell you, I was very nervous.
But one of those was Azpai's own goal, right?
Yes. Correct.
I was very nervous watching that Southampton game going into it. And when we got a goal early, I felt good. That's when they returned Sir Bournemouth. I was like, God, if we lose this fucking game. Because, like, look, we should be good. We should have gotten through the relegation either way, but it makes me feel real good. Now we start. Let's figure out what we got next year. I don't want to see Kovacic. I don't want to see Conte. Not for anything against them. I just don't want them to play. There's no need for them to play at this point. Just
the rest of the year.
yeah.
You're saying.
Let's let them relax. Yeah. Let's see what Mariuke and Mudryk.
Mudryk has.
Did Mariuke get hurt?
No. Shit. The wing back, not Reece James. The other wing back.
No, the forward who scored the 2 goals.
Did he get hurt? I don't think he did.
I thought I saw him come off. It was an injury. I could have been wrong.
Who is the other wing back? I know this is bad podcast.
I didn't watch the last game. This was 2 games ago. I thought he came off with an injury. So if he played the last game, I was busy.
He was beautiful. He was lovely the other day. He's been playing great. So you may have something there. But yeah, that's all I want to find out. You guys want to talk about Premier League in general? You want to talk table? Should we talk some table? A little table talk?
Yeah.
Before we get started, should we talk about the relegation battle that you and Danny had? Do you guys remember?
Yeah, for sure. I think I'm thinking it's setting up for me to definitely be the loser.
Right now, it looks that way.
Yeah.
I mean, basically, I just bet that the rich teams would not get relegated, and the poor teams would. So.
Yeah.
Wait, remind me, what was it?
I made a ridiculous statement that.
No, I was there.
Yeah, Leeds would get relegated, which was the only thing that was probably dumb in that, and West Ham and Everton would not.
That was literally. I thought no, we got to go back and listen to it. You named the 3 teams that would go.
Well, I think we all knew about Southampton and Nottingham. Like those were clear that they were going to be relegated even at the time.
Nottingham's not going to be relegated anymore, bud. No. They play Chelsea next. They're gonna fucking kill us.
That's funny. I mean, it's probably true, but also funny. So you think Leicester's going down?
Sadly.
Yeah. So
that's possible.
currently in the relegation table, Southampton's clearly going down at this point. They don't have enough games. They need to win all of them, and then they need some help. And they have it's too tough of a matchup. You've got Leeds and Leicester at 32 points behind the rest of the table.
Yeah, Leicester still has Liverpool and Newcastle to play, and then they finish at home to West Ham, who at that point will probably be safe and resting. So they could win that 3rd game, but they're probably not winning the 2 before that.
West Ham's had a decent run in their last 8 games or so, probably since Ted Lasso came back.
They've been playing better. I think West Ham's basically out. I
They
know
got the
not.
Wonder Kid. They got the
Yeah,
Wonder
like
Kid
clear.
coaching them now, so they got to be playing better.
Yeah, there's 5 options. You got Nottingham Forest, who had a really toothy win today, 4-3, holding on by the skin of their teeth to get across that finish line because that game was wild. I thought it was running away. I made a money line bet at plus 102 for for Nottingham Forest to win. I was like, this is gonna be the easiest bet of all time, as it was 3-1. It got hairy though. It got hairy. Everton, the team of the day. They came out.
They're not going down, man.
The shit out of a good Brighton team, and that Brighton team was attacking the hell out of them. Is there more?
Knocked Brighton out of European football.
They did, and Brighton. I don't think there's any chance they get to Europe now. I guess the 6th spot gets the Confederation or whatever, Europa Confederation. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's like they get to play on some weekdays, but it's not like
They get to play on the Ocho, ESPN Ocho.
Those games are on. They're on.
They exist.
I mean, I don't think Brighton was going to catch Liverpool anyway.
No, I think the 6th spot gets something.
Tight. Yeah, the 6th spot gets in. Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna pass Tottenham. But if they won that game, they would have been knocked out.
I could see Forest Palace that last round being a very important game for relegation.
I can see that. Because I can see, and punch me for saying this, I can see Nottingham upsetting Chelsea, or at this point, is it even an upset? And Arsenal, Southampton did almost beat Arsenal, but I think the Crystal Palace game will be a big one.
It's also
I think Forest is going to lose those next 2 to Chelsea and Arsenal, and then they've got Palace, and then a Palace team that isn't going to have anything to play for necessarily. So Forest might need a win to potentially get out of the spot there. And depending on what happens with Leicester and Leeds, that could be.
So Brighton does still have an extra game to play. They could. They won't get into Liverpool probably, but they could still pass Tottenham again.
Does Brighton have 2 extra games to play?
Yeah, they got 5. They got 5 left.
They had a bunch of canceled games with everything that was going on this.
Yeah, but 3 of them are Arsenal, Newcastle, and Man City. So that's it's tough sledding.
So
well, if they could tie Arsenal and Man City both, then that wouldn't affect the top of the table, and they would get 2 points out of it. That's kind of sounds like.
Man, everyone has a tough matchups. Leeds goes into, they host Newcastle, West Ham away, and then they host Tottenham. I don't know if Tottenham will have much to play for at that point, so that may be an interesting matchup at the end of the year. And Leeds is going to have to be doing everything in their power, most likely, in order to stay up. We said Leicester has Liverpool, Newcastle, West Ham. Man, Newcastle's got a nice road to victory here.
I think Everton's got a really interesting finish to it. Those are some matches I'd be excited to watch.
You want to break?
I'm going to be rooting for Everton to stay up.
Oh, absolutely! After today, for sure, man.
Yeah.
They scored that first goal.
I want them.
You want them out?
Get them the fuck out.
No, I liked Everton back when what's his face played there. The old USM men's national team striker. Come on. Landon Donovan.
Landon Donovan. Hey, he's a good-looking guy.
Everton has to face Man City, and Man City's playing all the bottom feeders right now. But then they play Wolves and Bournemouth. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend soccer teams. Wolves and Bournemouth largely have nothing to play for. Bournemouth's safe. Wolves is safe. I don't know what they'll try.
They also have 2 of the worst goal differentials in the entire league. So I don't know how Bournemouth has so many points.
Yeah.
Bournemouth and Southampton have the same goal differential at -30 and -33.
Hey,
it's bad.
You know who has a better goal differential than Everton? Wolves.
They do.
Okay.
So I could see, this is what I'm rooting for. I'm rooting for them to get smashed by Man City and then to drop a match they think they can win and keep them up against Wolves, and then it comes down to Bournemouth. I mean, they're going to be Bournemouth, especially if like relegation is on the line.
I think Bournemouth is through. They've been playing really great, minus the Chelsea game. Their last.
I think it would be so fun and very endearing to me if Bournemouth was like, "No, fuck this. We're gonna knock Everton out. Let's get them out of here."
talking about the top of the table, we got Man City and Arsenal in a dogfight right now. The important thing here is Man City does have a game in hand, and Man City is coming up with a lineup outside of Champions League, which they're going to be very invested in tomorrow. Starts tomorrow, boys. The semifinal round.
It's big.
But they get Everton, they have Chelsea, they have Brighton, they have Brentford, and then they have is that it? Okay,
That's it.
yeah. Everton, Chelsea, Brighton, Brentford. They play so many games.
Those are some scrappy squads, though.
Everton could draw or beat them the way they played today, especially since they're playing this weekend and Man City. What?
They're not doing every. I mean that is very optimistic, and you sound like an Arsenal fan, like a hopeful Arsenal fan that they're going to do something. I don't see any. Man City's
Man City's also coming off of a really emotional European game that they're going to put everything into.
Yeah, you're right. They have a big matchup.
Man City also, has their bench is as good as Everton. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Man City's winning the Premier League. I think Arsenal's going to choke it away as much as it is Man City going out and taking it.
It's already been choked away.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, there's still games to be played, and Man City is going to have to earn it. But I do think Arsenal might do their fair share in getting Man City to the top. But I mean, I really want to talk about this Real Madrid Man City matchup we got tomorrow.
Okay,
it's gonna be so good.
So by the time anyone listens to this, that game will probably already be over. But man, it's gonna be a good one.
Anything else? Let's do this. Round table. I'll write it down. Who gets relegated for a Chuggie?
Like you got to nail all three, or
whoever does best. If you get all three, you get a bonus Chuggie.
Okay, I love it.
And then we get to bed. Because I don't think there's anything too interesting at the top of the table. We get really quick. Liverpool, Man U are coming down to a heated battle. Liverpool has been just awesome for them. I think they've won their last 8. They are absolutely cruising in Premier League. All these offensive players that they paid for are finally hitting their full stride. Man U's kind of limping along a little bit. Their differential is real bad, and it's been getting worse over the last few days. But Man U does have a game in hand. For that final the spot into the Champions League, do you think it will be Man U or Liverpool?
Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool's cruising right now. They're in a good spot. And Man U, I feel like, has been a 500 club for like a month or 6 weeks, and like no one's really.
It's gonna
noticed.
be Man U.
Man U has a very nice road.
Easy schedule, game in hand, up a point.
They've got Wolves, Bournemouth, Chelsea, Fulham, right? Not the worst teams, not like anyone at the bottom of the table, but no one at the top, right? They got a bunch of teams in the middle there. Where Liverpool has...
Any of those teams could be relegated next year. Any of those 4 teams.
Liverpool does have a very nice walk ahead. They have Leicester, Aston Villa, who probably largely doesn't have anything to play for, but they're good. Aston Villa's gotten significantly better year over year, and Southampton, which by that time they'll be largely relegated. Like they're already relegated; they'll be extra relegated at that point.
Even more relegated than they are now.
So Man U needs 3 wins.
Man U needs
they need to win 3 of 4 to take that spot, basically, because Liverpool's running the table.
Liverpool does have Leicester twice, right?
Liverpool has Leicester, Villa, and Southampton.
Okay, just Leicester once. Okay.
I am going to watch that Leicester-Liverpool game, and I will probably bet Leicester in this spot at a home situation because I think it's going to be the King Power is going to be rocking. But that's going to be a really fun game to watch.
So Man U's 3 like scrappy matches they have left are all at home. Wolves, Chelsea, and Fulham. And man, I can definitely see them dropping one of those. I would say it's like a coin flip whether they drop one of those. And then all you really need is one of those teams to get a draw and they're toast.
Yeah.
So, Man U's 3 scrappy matches they have left are all at home. Wolves, Chelsea, and Fulham. And Man U's 3 like scrappy matches they have left are all at home. And then all you really need is one of those teams to get a draw and they're toast.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Liverpool makes the champions. It just feels right.
It does. It does. I think Liverpool's the better team. Their form lately has been great, but I keep an eye on the Leicester City Liverpool game. I think that would be a really, really interesting one.
Yeah, I really like the idea of picking our relegation teams.
Okay, let's get back to that, and then we can move on to Champions League.
Yeah.
All right, you want me to go first, or who wants the pressure of going first?
I feel like I already am all in on Leeds, so I might as well just stick with that.
Danny had Leeds, Southampton.
So you're sticking with it as is right now, then? Southampton, Leeds, Leicester?
No, I don't think Leicester's going down. I think none of them's going down.
Okay.
Forest. Sonny, what you got?
Well, I was gonna say Southampton, Leeds, and Nottingham, but
That's okay.
no, because Danny did that. I'm not gonna do that. I'll take it as is.
So you're gonna take Leicester.
I'll take Leicester, Leeds, Southampton.
Al.
I'm gonna do the same, but I'm swapping Leicester for Everton.
So Leeds, Southampton, and Everton. Oh man!
So you're going with
and it's
you're going with winning the bet by the skin of your teeth.
Yep, it's going to be on goal differential.
So then if I want a different one, Southampton has to be in there. Then I need Leicester. Okay, I'll take. Oh shit! Sonny has that one. Okay, I'll take Southampton, Leicester, and Nottingham Forest to be relegated.
Ooh, spicy.
Andy will take Southampton, Everton, and Nottingham Forest.
Andy will take Southampton. If we all lose, we suck.
Southampton is the only team that doesn't.
None of you guys picked Leeds,
relegated.
other than
I picked Leeds.
Okay.
I took it as is.
I picked Leeds too.
I couldn't pick Leeds.
Southampton and Leeds.
Literally
Southampton and
everyone
Leeds are going down. It's happening.
I know. I had to be different.
On each other.
Ooh, 69.
So progressive.
No, they're not gonna. They're not gonna get halfway there, Danny. They might get 69 combined.
Nice.
Points.
Nice.
I get it.
Dumb,
I get it. I see the total.
bad,
50.
dumb,
They're at
bad, dumb
54.
me.
They have 6 games left.
Yeah, they're not gonna come close.
If they get to 69, they're not getting relegated.
Just champions.
All right. Yeah, so one thing I saw was like odds to win it over the 4 remaining teams, and I think Man City was like it's like minus 150 to win the Champions League, and then Real Madrid is the next closest at like plus 350 or some shit. And man, I would if I was placing a bet on that, it would definitely be on Real Madrid.
Yeah.
I mean, I do think Man City's a better squad in a vacuum. But I think there's much better odds of Real Madrid advancing against Man City than whatever plus 350 equates to in percentages.
Danny, how many goals is Haaland going to score tomorrow?
I bet he gets 1.
Yeah.
This many right here.
Oh,
I've got a big fat goose egg I'm holding.
I definitely just bet him to score 1.
Can you bet him to not score?
No,
Is that
no? I don't know.
That's probably pretty good odds on not.
It's plus money. If they give it, it would be plus money,
right? Yeah, I think the whole
in Haaland's last 3 Champions League matches, he has 5, 6 goals, 7 goals and an assist in his last
3.
He had that 5-goal match.
Oh,
he had the glut, you know.
Oh, the glut.
But I mean, I think Real Madrid's whole focus is going to be keeping Haaland from scoring.
It's good focus.
And I think Man City has the talent to focus the offense elsewhere. And I think that might just be their strategy is to use him to funnel the offense instead of being the main goal scorer. That's not to say he's not going to get put on the spot or get a rebound, tapping
He
kind of
is
thing.
he's an
But-
opportunistic scorer, like just like you're talking about with the rebounds. He is obviously more likely than not to score. I mean, like I watched Joseph Martinez be an opportunistic scorer for years. I love it. I mean, I'm not a Man City fan, but I just after that one time where Danny just bet against him and I was all for it, and then
He
goes
was
out there and
cold, man.
fixes
He
Danny
was
Sale.
cold. He just stopped being cold in a really ridiculous way that game, and he's continued it since then, and it's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
You know, who's got the better goaltender in this matchup?
Oh, I think Real Madrid. With it going away, Thibaut Courtois is the best goaltender, in my opinion, in the world. He is terrifying. He's
Yeah.
giant. He is very hard to score on.
Ederson has not really played great lately, so I really think
Yeah.
a BTTS bet is probably. I might go make that right now, actually.
What's it at right now? Let me pull it up. At our friends at if anyone wants to sponsor us, gambling book, hey, we'll plug you in right here. Let's see. Both teams score would be minus
Going to
165. Minus 165.
Schmoshmata. Minus 165. That's like shorter odds than I like to play, but I might do it anyway. It just feels obvious to me. I feel good about Real Madrid scoring.
Well, there's
if you're Man City, do you just go with Ortega? Like every game he's played, he's been really good. They played him 2 out of the last 5.
no, I don't think you go with Ortega here. I think you bring.
Who is Ortega? I don't even
He's
know
their
who you're talking
backup
about.
goalie. He plays for Germany.
Oh. Yeah, probably
I
not.
think there are some interesting storylines, right? So the game's at the Bernabeu, right? So it'll be in Madrid, tough environment, known for being notoriously tough for outsiders. I'm sure there's fireworks going off outside the hotel, all that dumb pageantry that everybody loves, shithousery as it's called. And it's really, really going to be fun. I do think it's interesting that Madrid is a dog plus quarter goal, right? So there is value on a draw here. Man City probably would take a draw in this scenario. I do think Man City is more likely to win than that would be the most likely outcome, right? Of course, like the betting lines say that. But that's interesting, the plus quarter goal. I don't know if you guys have thoughts on the actual game line. There's not a lot of the odds that's like minus 110 both ways.
Yeah, I mean, I think Real Madrid knows they have to win this one to have a shot, right? Like, I don't think they're going to go out here playing for a draw, hoping to win on goals, like on aggregate on the road, you know. So
They could tie. They could tie in Manchester too. It could happen. I mean, if they tie at home, they cannot lose. If they lose this,
I don't think
over.
I don't think they would prefer it.
But if they lose this, I feel like it's over. So if they get down, expect them to press to try and get back to get an equalizer. So I expect them to play an aggressive style in this game. I'm with you. I think they're going to play an aggressive style to try and get a lead.
The back four is going to be key for Real Madrid. It's going to be the key to the game because Madrid loves to counter so much. They love to fast punch counter. They like to run Vinicius down one wing and have Benzema and Kroos and Modric sneaking in behind for those. And I'll be damned if there's a better passer in the box than Vinicius Jr. When he gets in the box, his speed is so dangerous and he's got a rocket on a leg. But that's not even his best part. His passing inside the box is beautiful. So if
ball sneak through, man, ball sneak through when he passes him, it's great. It's fun to watch.
If the back four play well for Madrid and they can make it tight, make it scrappy, because Man City can attack you from every direction. This could be a really fun game because you get those numbers disadvantages and Vinicius is a disadvantage to anyone who's covering. Like there's no one in the world that can cover that guy straight up if he wants it. It's going to be really, really fun, but I think Madrid's back four is going to be the key if they want to make this close.
I'm going to ask you an opinion on betting a player to score.
Mm-hmm.
But do you guys believe that Jose Ignacio Fernandez Iglesias Nacho will score tomorrow?
I do not think Nacho will score.
No, Nacho's not going to score. I got a bet for you guys. Junior has scored or assisted in each of his last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games. All of them. scored or assisted. So if you get Junior to score or assist at like minus 150 or better, or minus 200 or better, take it because
Is that an option?
Yeah.
to score or
So
assist is usually an option, but he's
you
going to
can
be
get
long odds for that.
you can get it plus 160.
Yeah, that's a bet. He's scored it is including games against Villarreal, Barca, 2 games against Chelsea. Not that that means anything. But
Everybody scores or assists against Chelsea.
yeah. So anyway, he's been playing great. He's on fire right now.
I also like looking at Kevin De Bruyne to score a goal. I think there's going to be so much focus. And the problem here is De Bruyne going to play? He's been very hit or miss in the lineup, but when he's been in the lineup recently, he's been spectacular. You can look at De Bruyne at plus 400. It's probably worth rolling the dice. If he doesn't play, you get your money back. I think there's going to be hyper focused on Holland that someone else is going to have to come through big. Or let's see. I wonder what his score or assist combination is.
I mean, De Bruyne doesn't score that much, and he just kind of got 2 against Arsenal not that long ago. I guess was that last week or the week before?
A couple weeks ago, I think.
Yeah. So I don't. I mean, he might get a set piece goal. That's actually not a bad bet. He might get a set piece goal. What he's gonna have? He's gonna be plus 200 or better, right?
To score.
Yeah, to score. To score or assist, it might be
lower. Score
lower.
assist is minus 110.
I wouldn't do that.
No, I was hoping it was better than that.
I wouldn't do that, but I would do to score if it's like plus 200 or better.
Plus 4.
Who is Federico Valverde?
He is the other forward that plays the opposites. So it's Vinicius, Benzema, Valverde.
Okay, because there's a line that Bovada's given out. It's Valverde versus on target match bet. Valverde is plus 200, but De Bruyne is plus 160, and I really feel like he's going to get. That's what I was thinking. De Bruyne plus 160 to have more shots on target than Valverde, but I don't know. I don't know Real Madrid's third striker well enough to have a good read on that. I just feel like
he's good.
De Bruyne's going to have his opportunities.
He's a Madrid level player, so he's very good.
Yeah.
You could probably look at Luka Modric to assist. I'm sure that could be some juicy numbers as well if you want to get more exotic with it.
Do you think they'll play Rodrigo in that winger spot or Valverde? Because they kind of rotate those two.
I don't know. It's going to depend on what Ancelotti likes as the matchup. I would guess it's Valverde, but he can just as easily pick Rodrigo in that spot.
Yeah. They kind of rotate on the right side who goes up. And they even throughout the game. So
you could get Holland minus 105 to outshoot Benzema on target.
Ooh, that is a sexy matchup. That's the heavyweight matchup, the big boxing matchup that everyone's been looking forward to.
Yeah, that feels like good value in my opinion.
I don't know how this game's going to be played at all. I'm really excited. It'd probably be a stinker. Every time I get really hyped up for one of these games, it ends up being a 1-0.
So the 2 bets I have highlighted right now is yes for both teams to score, which I don't know if I'm going to bet at minus 165. But the other one, I was debating. I have under 3, which is an alt under at minus 143. But I was debating between that and the actual under, which is 2 3/4. So under 2.5, 3 at minus 108. Because these games, everyone's always gets excited about the goal scoring opportunities, and the teams are trying to not let goals in. That's like their priority, right? Their main focus. They want to make the other team make a mistake, counter, maybe get a goal. So I don't know if those 2 bets work great together, but
why don't you just take under 2.5? Because it seems like you like both teams, or like a draw, 1-1 draw. Considering it seems like everything that is the way you're feeling, I'm sure that's a much bigger payout, much riskier.
Right. Let's see. Correct score 1-1 plus 550.
Nah.
Yeah. So I might just throw a few
too.
bucks. I might throw a few bucks on just the under, whatever it ends up being. Maybe it'll move.
It's 2 3/4 right now. If you wanted 2.5, if you think it's going to be a 2, it could potentially be a 2-0 or a 1-1 game. I'm sure you get a plus on it.
I feel pretty dumb because rather than listen to you guys, I just went on and made all these bets. This is going to be like a banger of a game. I'm talking about like it's going to be at least.
Buddy, I hope it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like I got so many different player props out there who's scoring. I did it's unreal.
I'm going to see what the lineup is, and I'm going to put a player prop on someone, but I just want to make sure they're in the starting lineup.
My favorite bet is the junior to assist or score. You said plus 160 is out there. That's my favorite bet in the game.
Yeah, that's a good one. What you guys? There is another Champions League game that's happening this week.
Yeah. It's. I feel like this one's gonna be not as good. Just throwing that out there.
Oh, it's such a fun matchup. This one's way juicier too.
You think? I feel like it's gonna be a runaway.
Well, then expand on it.
She's a little runaway.
You don't think Inter's way better than Milan?
I do. I like Inter in this spot, but I also didn't really like AC Milan in their spot. And
I guess they beat Napoli somehow, right?
Amazing. It was something I couldn't expect. Yeah, I think that the bet here is
the old handsome man gonna make it happen for him, or is he just gonna? I mean,
he's always around. He's always lurking around the box. If you had to pick a player prop, I would pick handsome man, just because he always somehow is involved there. Let me look at the lines there.
He scores a lot, man.
I think the obvious bet here is the Inter Milan. You can lay a quarter goal at plus 111. I'd probably do that. They don't have to go. It's no home or away advantage. I don't even know how the ticket allocations go here, considering that I think they use the same stadium. So I don't even know how that's going to work.
Why are they only a quarter goal favorite?
At plus money.
Yeah, that feels weird.
It stinks. It stinks a little bit, but it does seem like the obvious play.
All right. It stinks so much that I'm changing my entire view of the game.
Okay.
Also, I forgot Lukaku was on Inter, and I want them to lose. I'm rooting for the handsome man, and I hate Lukaku. So
I love Rafael Leao for AC Milan. He's super exciting. He is a bad man who will probably be playing in like Liverpool next year. Let's see. Handsome.
I don't know. All these teams are in financial fair play issues. I like Lautaro Martinez.
Anytime goal scorer, handsome man plus 260, Lukaku plus 235, Edin Dzeko plus 250. Where's Leao? Is Leao not playing? Plus 290. Rafael Leao. Lautaro Martinez at plus 195. I never know who's going to score for Inter. I feel like
Leao's doubtful.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna take the plus juice get plus juice on a draw, and then if I lose the other leg, I lose the other leg. That's my thought on this. I don't really know what to make of the match. I do think it is going to be a super fun watching two people who hate each other, who play each other every year, have to play each other again for something
like
that's
a lot, yeah.
Stakes. And I know AC Milan. Let me see. Champions League.
So Zlatan's been out for a little while. He was back on the bench not that long ago, but I guess he's out for this game. Leao says doubtful, but he played like yesterday, the day before. So I'm surprised he's not going to play. Yeah, that's odd. Okay.
It is fun to watch two people who share a stadium. They have 10 Champions League titles between the two of them. So
AC and Inter share a stadium?
I believe they share San Siro.
MetLife?
Yeah, they both play at San Siro Stadium. I'm really curious about the ticket allocations and like the jerseys in the crowd or kits in the crowd and see.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun in its own way.
I bet you there's a lot of fights. That seems like a very
Especially with Napoli taking the Scudetto, like that. This is going to be like all or nothing for these fans. So,
Did you see the video from Napoli when they officially won the Scudetto?
like all the fireworks and shit.
Holy crap! That video from above is
nuts.
insane. It's insane. And Napoli doesn't take shit lightly. They're like the ones that are like threatening people in the streets.
I think the play might be the under in this game.
Under is not a bad play. What is it? 2.25?
Yeah, I think that you got some good goalkeeping. I think you have some attackers out for Milan. Bastoni might be able to shut down Giroud. We'll see. I don't know.
Yeah, I was almost gonna lean the other way, just as like
because you want to have fun watching.
Well, no, because like I feel like everyone's gonna lean the under, because the whole thing in like big matchups like this is the smart move is to bet the under, right? And I feel like out of these two games, if someone's gonna pick a game to bet the under on, it's this one. And so that says, oh, maybe that means the smart money is on the over. I don't know. Maybe I'm galaxy braining it.
Or Leao and Zlatan are out. And Milan's firepower is resting on Big Rom, who doesn't have it anymore.
Yeah.
They still have Lautaro Martinez on the other side, though. So.
But, like when the Suns have Chris Paul and Kevin Durant out, and then they go out and they win by like 20, and you're like, well, I didn't think that was going to happen, but it does. Feels like that sort of thing.
I mean, that doesn't happen in like the Champions League final or the NBA finals, though. It happens in like
the second round of playoffs.
Yeah, the regular season.
Touche. You guys have any other thoughts on the Champions League? I mean, I think we're all expecting the winner of Real Madrid, Man City to win it all. But
I was rooting for Napoli, man. But that was a fun team this year. Watching Italian soccer, it still is a fun team. But
Osimhen, that dude having a year.
Yeah, he sure has. No, I don't have much else on that game.
Okay. Well, maybe let's pivot to the NBA / NHL, and then when Matt comes back, we'll see if he has any other thoughts on it. But one thing I want to talk about was that overtime victory by the Panthers last night. That was awesome.
It was beautiful. I let my daughter stay up to watch it, and we were just like dancing around the house, yelling goal, and waking up the baby, waking up my wife. They were all mad at us. She was mad that I let her stay up because it was a secret.
Yeah.
It was so great.
Turns out like 4-year-olds aren't very good at keeping secrets.
No, today when I was putting her to bed, I told her in front of because obviously I ended up telling my wife, but I told her while I was putting her to bed, I was like, we're just gonna put you to bed now so that the baby thinks we're going to bed, and then when she falls asleep, you can come watch the basketball game with me. And she goes, no, don't tell mommy, it's a secret. It was hilarious. I don't know how I turned basketball talk into a dad podcast, but
no. Okay. Yeah, when the Panthers, the way they scored in overtime to take a 3-0 lead on the Maple Leafs was a puck went behind the net. Dude kind of like ran, did a little run around behind the back of the net, and the goalie got caught looking the wrong way, and he ended up wrapping it around and 5-holing it. And as soon as that happened, I went, "Oh!" And then I heard, and I said, I tried to be quiet, not too loud, but I definitely went like, "Oh!" And I waited a second, and I hear my son. Meanwhile, it's like 10 p.m. or whatever. My son in his crib goes, "Oh!" And I was like, "That's perfect. As long as nothing else follows that, we're good." So yeah.
So I think it was the second goal of the game and the second goal in 2 games where we caught that goalie looking the wrong way behind before, because there was another one where he faked like he was going to go around to the other side, and he did a back pass and we got the goal. I think that was the game before.
Yeah.
So this guy is definitely just like, we're in his head when we're behind the net.
I just love the chaos that hockey provides.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all these teams, well, I guess the Hurricanes are leading their series, and they're technically the favorite in that one, but everything else, it's all like the underdogs. Panthers up 3-0. Vegas took a 2-1 lead tonight over the Oilers, and the Kraken are up 2-1 on the Stars. So
It's crazy that the last seeds in are the Kraken and the Panthers. And they've been playing pretty dominant. The Panthers have been playing really dominant style hockey against a team that has a lot more stars and a lot more annoying fans. And the Kraken with their sweet jerseys, sweet sweaters. I love watching it. I'm going to keep betting overs in any game Seattle and Dallas are playing because that shit is hitting 8-9 goals every time. That's just my game. That's the Sunshine pick of the week. Just keep betting the over.
Yeah, you're taking
Sunny
credit
special.
for that, but Sunshine's
Yeah.
giving us that pick on the
I
text.
said it's the Sunshine pick of the week.
Yeah.
I've been watching it because
He's been handing out hockey over winners like all season, and this one, like now he's doing it in the playoffs, and he's on a hot streak.
Sorry to jump back to the Panthers game, but when they scored, there were some rats popped out on the ice, right? That's what fans love to do there. Christine asked me, she goes, "Why did they throw rats on the ice?" And I was like, it's back when they like made a deep playoff run in the 90s. And she was like, "Oh." And I was like, "Yeah, that doesn't sound like a thorough explanation." And I was like, "I know like they do that. I know the Red Wings throw octopus on the ice, and that's
So
because
gross.
octopus have 8 legs. And back when they started that, you only needed to win 2 series, so 8 wins, and you had the Stanley Cup. And then the Predators copied that, but with a catfish, because they're in Nashville. And I thought that's fun. But then I was like, I don't know the rat thing. I looked it up, and it's because their captain Scott Mellenby killed a rat in the locker room. With
Yeah, I could have told you that just off the
Like,
top
that
of my
was
head.
it.
We were
I was like,
Panthers fans
okay.
when I was 8 years old or
Yeah.
whatever that happened. 13 was it 98? It was 13 years old.
Yeah, 96, I think.
96. Yeah, so I was like
Yeah.
11. I remember. I was young.
Yeah. I remember it too. I just didn't remember like the actual reason.
I would have guessed it was Rob Niedermeyer, but yeah, Scott Mellenby. Yeah, killed the rat in the locker room, and we all started throwing rats on the ice. It was nuts. You could buy them outside the Miami Arena for like $1 back when things were free.
Good times. So, Sonny, keep the over picks coming because we can get more rats on the ice.
And we have the double-double in South Florida on Wednesday. You better have 2 screens going because the Heat and the Panthers are playing at the same time.
I got this.
They're going to be able to close each team's going to be able to close their series out.
Hopefully they do, so I don't have to worry about sports on Mother's Day.
Yeah.
Does it feel bad when your teams do so well in the playoffs that you're missing games because the series are ending so short?
No.
Okay, I didn't think
I want to watch more of my team.
I don't know.
Was that a question because your teams are never in the playoffs, Al?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
No.
This has been the most fun run of South Florida sports at the same time, like more than one sport. It's been tremendous.
You got Canes Final Four, Panthers.
South Florida's on fire.
What else?
FAU.
Miami Women's Elite 8. FAU deep run. Yeah, shit.
How are the Marlins doing?
Above 500.
Marlins not the worst. I don't know. I think
if we haven't played Atlanta, we would be in first place.
Yeah.
Friggin' Braves. Braves have our number, man.
How many series have you played with the Braves, though? 3?
2 or 3, yeah.
Okay.
And we've lost them all.
I think we're like 2-9 against the Braves, or 2-7 against the Braves right now. It's bad.
Let's see.
It's funny. I thought the Braves were like 7-2 against you guys, so it makes sense. Yeah.
We have won 1 game against the Braves.
No, there's was I looking into last season?
We're 1-5.
1-5, 2 series. If you go back to last season, we're like 3-16 or something against the Braves.
Yeah.
So if we take out the Braves,
Turns out the
we're
Braves
4
are good.
games over 500.
Yeah.
Matt, I got to give you props. This Warriors-Lakers game is a good one, and Lakers are up 2-1. You definitely had that one pegged right, and I'm a dummy.
What you think was going to happen? You thought the Warriors were going to blow them out?
Well, not blow them out, but I thought it wasn't going to be a super tight series. I guess I would say.
It's styles make fights. The games haven't been that close. They've been kind of blowouts. One way
This
or
one's
the
been
other.
close. Actually, no, I watched a good one. They've had two
Game
bad
one
ones and
was
one good one.
game one was close.
Yeah.
5-point Lakers win, and then the Warriors won by 27. The Lakers won by 30.
Yeah.
And this one's a close one again.
Yeah.
They two totally different styles. They're just Lakers play big.
Yeah, bigs
bully
versus
defense.
littles.
Stan was
And
kind of talking about that when it
goals.
started. So like the Lakers are like the best free throw differential team in basketball. So they're like crushing them on the free throws, free throw differential. And then the best 3-point shooting team in basketball is crushing them on 3 points. So they've scored 70 more points on threes, the Warriors have, and then it's like the Lakers have scored like 35 more points on free throws. And then they're obviously the Lakers are scoring more on twos because they take way more twos than.
If it gets to the point where the Warriors start shooting 40% from threes, the series will be done. But the Lakers have made things very complicated. Anthony Davis has been largely good. He plays this like Jekyll and Hyde game every night where he's either tremendous or he just doesn't exist.
I can't tell if he's just like healthy one game and then he's sore the next game or something.
Yeah, it takes a couple days
And
for
he's
the
like
big guy to recover.
because he's a big guy and he has like old lingering injuries.
Like
And he's
Kawhi
just like
Leonard type.
and they're just resting him more, and he's like, they're saying take it easy in this game so that you can play better in the next game or something, so you don't get hurt because when he goes hard when he's tired he gets hurt or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's just
It's been
prone
too
to
consistent.
I think he's just not consistent.
No, but he's been too consistently inconsistent in the every other. It's been too like obvious because he's playing well again this game. So
Yeah.
now it's 3 in a row where he goes good game, bad game, good game, bad game, good game.
It's been an interesting
And
series.
it's not a Holloway thing.
I was fascinated with the games yesterday. I don't know if you watched the Philly Boston.
Suns Nuggets.
The Philly Boston game was a blowout for like 41 minutes of the game. And then it got so bad, Philly couldn't buy a bucket. Embiid was getting bodied by Horford. I don't know if you saw the defense he was playing. He was blocking Embiid shots left and right. I couldn't
Al
believe
Horford
it.
is a better basketball player than Joel Embiid. That's my hot take.
Okay.
At least yesterday it was.
He was great yesterday. He was bodying him, and then Harden came back.
Didn't Embiid score like 35 or something?
Yeah, probably.
But-
Horford has a role and he plays it well. I mean, I'm being facetious here, but I do think Joel Embiid is basically just a very big, like, average guy. Like I mean, I don't know. Like he's the MVP. He did great, right? But
he's pretty good.
I don't know.
I wish I was average at anything like Embiid is average in this scenario.
I'm looking up the box score right now. I'm pretty sure because Harden I know put up like 40 or 50 or something on like
42 yesterday.
It was a ridiculous shooting performance too. I think he took like 9 shots to get 42 points and he made like 6 of them.
But I've never seen a game where I was more I was more certain of the outcome, and then I was more or less. I couldn't be more on the opposite side. I'm like, Boston's going to own this shit. This shit is done. And then Harden willed them to a victory at the end, and it was cool. Did you guys see that story with Harden? There was a guy who got shot at Michigan State when the shooting happened, and he loved James Harden and did this. And James Harden FaceTimed him, and he's been really like getting him involved in every game, talking to him before every game. I forgot the young man's name. But he was at Game 4 yesterday, and it was finally the first time he was healthy enough to go to Philadelphia 76ers game, and he was talking to him in the post-game press conference, the one they do right on the court, like, hey, James, you're so great today. And he had that guy right next to him because he's kind of like bound to a wheelchair now, and it was a really cool moment. Like, I think of James Harden for all the strip club shenanigans, like his jersey's retired in multiple Houston strip clubs because the boy throws back. So obviously he cares, right? He donates, he gives his money. He's willing to support local businesswomen and men. But it was just kind of a cool thing to see a different side, a much softer side of James Harden.
So Harden did not do it with free throws, that 42. He was 16 of 23 shooting. 16 of 23.
Pretty good.
Yeah, but he was only 6 of 9 from 3-point range.
Well, that's even more impressive. The sentiment of this whole series is that he's been scared to shoot twos. Even the series before this, like I'm eating chips. He would shoot 23s a game, but when he would get inside, he would panic and then pass the ball away. And even when he had like open layups or runners, it's good to see him get back to the game that made him famous, right? That hesitation dribble.
Is it the jersey that makes you not want to shoot layups?
That's what I was wondering. Has he got the Ben Simmons kit on?
Did he switch to Ben Simmons' number when he left?
Yeah. I did watch Denver Phoenix. I don't know if you guys have notes on that. Kevin Durant's pretty good, but even
I just wanted to talk about the Suns owner getting in Jokic's shit, and wanting to be the main character for a minute.
Well, so I don't know if you know anything about the new owner. Robert Sarver was the owner of Phoenix before, and he was largely a racist piece of garbage, and like everyone kind of knew Robert Sarver was a racist piece of garbage.
Yeah.
So they got this new guy who's kind of young money, and like there's a rumor that the Heat had basically all but locked up the Kevin Durant deal, and this guy came in with just like a gross offer that like Brooklyn's like, we can't say no. Like it's technically impossible for us to say no for how many picks you're going to give us for this guy. So he ended up winning, and he's been very flashy this whole time. So I'm not surprised about anything about him really trying to get in Jokic's head. I would be worried though, because his brothers are always hiding around somewhere, ready to kill somebody.
Jokic is good too, by the way. Speaking of good,
don't mess with the Serbians.
Joker has a YMCA game. People talk about why he's not fun to watch. It's because he plays this game where it's like he's not above the rim, but it's so good. It's so fun to watch because he's just making these passes all the time that are just on point and perfect and ready for guys to shoot. He's so good. Yeah. And then he also, scores 30 or 40.
Hey, sorry to just hop in, but I remember we used to talk about another basketball player that was a great, and we just hated to watch him play. And that was, anybody want to guess who I'm talking about?
James Harden.
Michael Jordan.
Tim Duncan.
Yeah.
Tim Duncan is phenomenal.
No, I know.
Yeah, that's a good comparison.
A 7-footer that only layups.
Yeah.
Uses
the
square.
Yeah. Jokic works so much harder than Tim Duncan does to get a basket. I can't believe that guy's not in amazing shape. He still looks like a loaf of bread. But God, he runs around a lot. He runs like Steph Curry off screens. He's always setting screens and bolting to the basket. But I think, do we have this conversation? He has to be into rough sex. Did I tell you this before?
Yeah. All the arm cuts.
He always has arm cuts. And he's always bleeding from the arms. And no one else in the NBA history has ever bled that much from his arms. I'm guessing he's into some very kinky stuff off the court. He has to be, because go look at him tomorrow. Slashes, like knife cuts. He's into some rough stuff.
All right. So I got to interrupt. Golden State Warriors tied.
No, let's go back to the rough sex. How do you think Joker likes to be fucked?
I think he's a dom. No, I think he's a submissive, right? I think he likes to get whipped and stuff.
Okay.
It reminds him of his brothers kicking his ass as a kid, which is a weird connection there, but I think he associates pain with pleasure.
I think
maybe it's actively from his brothers.
Oh, you think they're watching or they're involved?
No,
I think we explored too much.
Horse playing.
I don't think he's listening.
like a bathhouse situation, not like a.
You think they still kick his ass? Like it's like birthday punches, but every day is birthday punches. They just
every day is birthday punches.
Yes. That's how they say hello in Serbian.
Nikolai, it's the 363rd day of the year, so you get.
We have to beat you with his whip, so you have your proper slashes across your arms. Look, you could have thin skin, thin blood, and like if he's anemic or something, I'm going to feel real bad about this comment. But I don't.
There's a very easy answer to this, Matt. A very easy answer. How can you work that hard and stay fat and also have thin blood? Dude drinks all the fucking time.
Oh, yeah. He does have some gin nose on him.
Yeah, he's an alcoholic, man. He's one of us. One of us. One of us.
What? You guys want to talk Heat? It's the only series we haven't talked about. Oh, you want to talk about Jokic rough sex life?
Yeah, well, I just Googled it to see. It says when Jokic stepped in for the opening tip of the 1920 season,
Okay.
those huge blotchy arms were bare as ever, showing off hideous, graying 5-inch scar across his upper left arm earned the previous season.
How do you have a
Speckled with
6?
minor nicks and painful tenderized look.
This segment is called Al Reads the
I don't know
Internet.
what the fuck this is.
I am proud of
Yeah.
because he has the Andy moniker on his window, and he just Googled
Oh, do I?
something. He Googled, did not Bing. I want everyone at home to be proud of Al.
Sorry, that's my bad, Andy. I apologize.
We should be sponsored by Bing. It's so much better for sports searches.
Andy's gonna strip my responsibilities.
Don't give
Yeah,
them to me. But I do.
No, I
Bing.
thought Jokic was remarkable. Devin Booker and Jamal Murray really are the stories. Those two have been lights the fuck out this playoff series. And the whole playoffs. Devin Booker may be the best player in the NBA playoffs to this point.
Nope.
And that's with Jimmy Butler doing miraculous shit day in and day out. He has been ridiculously good. And it's been a good investment. Phoenix has absolutely no bench because I told you about the crazy owner that's the eccentric who wants to get in the game. Gave up too much, but they're going to ride the back of those 4 players. Do you think Chris Paul is hesitant to get back involved? Because this series has been so violently fast and going uphill and downhill, and he's recovering from an injury.
I think, and he would like nothing more than to be an non-participant in his team's playoff success.
Yeah, he's not going to win it. Can't win a ring.
That's it. That's all I got.
Okay.
All right, I'm trying to look up this Jimmy Butler versus Devin Booker comparison for this season. And
Not for the season, just the playoffs.
Yeah, for the season's playoffs. The season's playoffs. And Jimmy Butler's game score, he's played less games because Booker's had longer series.
Devin Booker looks like a boy band.
Booker's had a game score of 30 or more 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Jimmy's done it once. Jimmy was out for 1 game, right? And
yeah,
I mean, Jimmy's had that 148, but I guess Booker has had a game score over 40 twice. So yeah, I guess he's better.
They've both been great. I'm not like ranking them. I'm just saying I've been impressed with how good Devin Booker is. He's been the best player on a team that has Kevin Durant.
Al, for people who only follow the counting stats, his points were 26, 38, 45, 30, 47, 27, 35, 47, 36. Those are high numbers.
Yeah, he's been really good.
He I feel like he's almost an afterthought on that team because the big focus is on Chris Paul and Kevin Durant, and when he's the like 3rd best option, quote unquote,
no,
like that's a very potent guy to be.
They focus the offense on him. They focus the offense on him.
Yeah,
they run everything through him. Especially Chris Paul is not the same Chris Paul. He's a good distributor, a decent defender still, but he's not like he's going to get you 10 points, 12 points.
Chris Paul absolutely was trying to take credit for passing the ball to Devin Booker and just getting easy assists by passing the ball to Devin Booker. Devin Booker creating his own shot. He was basically lived off of that the last couple of years in Phoenix. Kevin Durant is not stepping aside to say that Devin Booker's the best, but I don't know which one of them is a better scorer right now on the team.
I don't mean that as a knock on Kevin Durant. I can't believe how good Devin Booker's been. Like, he's been ridiculously good.
Yeah, I mean, Kevin Durant is very good at not having the spotlight, but still being the best player on the team. He did that in Golden State very successfully.
Mm-hmm.
He's not very good at trying to have the spotlight on the team and being the best player when he had James Harden and him, and that didn't go so well. So maybe he's trying to take that other role again and let Devin Booker do it.
Yeah, and
Who you got? Who you guys think's gonna win the championship?
Jimmy Bucket.
I would guess Denver. I think Denver is really good. I think they're playing a team that has a crazy offense right now. But Denver's impressive.
I mean,
Hmm.
Phoenix won the last 2 games.
I got you. I would like Phoenix. I really want a LeBron James, Kevin Durant playoff series. That's what I want as a fan.
Ooh. I would take Steph Curry. I would take the
Oh, that's even better.
Golden
That's
State
even-
Kevin Durant revenge series.
Oh, that's even better. I'll take. I want the Suns
Kevin
to
Durant
get-
has to move on here. I'm sorry, Joker. You're the best player in the world right now. He wasn't MVP, but he should have been. The only reason he didn't get it is MVP fatigue, right? That's why they gave it to Embiid.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't want you to move on. I don't want to watch your YMCA game beat whoever's in the next series. I want to watch Devin Booker score 40 every night.
I think the Celtics are gonna win it.
Probably. I think the Celtics are good to go through to the finals, and then the West has a lot of fun ones.
The Celtics
I'm
aren't
sorry,
even going to beat the Sixers. Also, that series is going to go 7. The Heat are going to be super rested and healthy when they play there. When we play them, it's going to be great. Jimmy Butler is going to be just ready to go for 40 in all 4 games we have to play the Celtics.
Speaking of the
That'd be fun
Heat
to watch,
series, have you guys looked at 7th Avenue, New York City? Are there crowds of people saying they want Miami still? I just haven't been over. I haven't been on like the Bing searches to see if 7th Avenue is just packed with people.
No, they all moved to Toronto,
Oh,
and they said they wanted the Panthers.
I don't know. You know what? Thank you for saying that. They're such similar teams because they're a bunch of losers who think they should be winners and they talk like they're winners. Do you know that when was the last time that the Maple Leafs made it out of the second round of playoffs? Let me Google this. I don't think it's been since the 90s. And they sure do.
No, like the 60s or something.
It can't have been that
maybe
long.
90s.
The Toronto's been good.
They've been bad. How long has it been since they won a playoff series? That was like a very long drought they just broke.
Yeah, it was. I think that was like 24 years.
Wow.
Since the Panthers have existed, they've been the better franchise in like playoff runs, which is hilarious. If you want to say going
Not in
further
regular season wins though.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares about that shit? You've seen the Marlins? 2 rings. You seen how many playoffs they've been in? 3 of them.
That's a great point. And one of those was a COVID year.
So in 1999, they lost the conference final. In 2002, and they haven't really been. So since 2004, they haven't been in a meaningful playoff series.
Okay.
Bunch of bums. They like to talk a lot of shit. And so help me, I know a lot more about basketball. The Knicks are a bunch of losers. And if I have to hear the Mecca one more time, you guys don't win shit. You guys celebrate beating the Hawks a couple times.
Where did the Mecca even come from? I never understood them calling it the Mecca. This is something we should have researched if I was going to bring it up on the podcast.
I don't know. I hope everyone's enjoying their dirty water hot dog and celebrating that they wanted Miami.
Fuck, I want a hot dog.
Should we go full circle and end this bitch?
I think it's over, bud. Should we give out some chuggies? Do we have any chuggies to give out?
The horse race bet.
Oh yeah, Matt and I both had a horse place or show, whatever you call it.
Yeah, you had someone to show. I had someone.
I had Angel of Empire, and you had
2
two
fills.
Phils.
And I bet 2 fills in real life, and that's the only thing that hit for me. All right, sure, sunshine, drink.
Yeah, Danny, you drink. How about that? The drinkers and non-drinkers.
Yeah, let's stay here and be cool sober. That's some gushing water right there, boy. Anything else to go over today? Oh, Aussie rules?
Yeah, I mean, we can touch base on it. It'll be boring. It'll just be me listing my picks. Let me see. What did I bet? It's a bunch of shit. Over-unders and spreads. Let me go through. I took Fremantle plus 22.5 against Sydney. I took North Melbourne plus 30.5 against Port Adelaide. Hawthorn plus 41.5 versus Melbourne. Essendon plus 26.5 versus Brisbane. GWS plus 33.5 against Collingwood. And then a bunch of over-unders. Maybe I'll like make a little TikTok or some shit and we can put that out so you guys can see all those plays there.
I think that's.
I did what did I 11-3 on my plays last weekend, so I think maybe you might be hitting a stride here. Because it always takes a few weeks for the season to get going for the numbers start making sense. So fingers crossed we're there and making money going forward. But it was a good week last week. That was good.
Yeah, I haven't been able to watch much footy the last couple of weeks. Disney vacation, and then we were out of town last weekend for Missy's mom's birthday. So, give my personal schedule on the podcast.
If you want to say some
what gas station do you fill up at, Danny?
Costco.
Oh, nice.
Where you can get a hot dog.
Fancy gas.
Yeah, hot dogs, full circle.
Boom, full circle.
Hey, Chris, anything else to add here? Anyone got anything before we conclude?
That's it. We're done. If you made it this far, we appreciate you. Like, follow, subscribe. I don't know.
Just listen. Just listen.
Yeah. If you made it this far, you already did all that shit. You did enough. Thank you for your hard work and determination. Boys, always a pleasure.
Good night,
Check it, boys.
Cheers.
Good night.
Joey.
Good night, Joey.
Taylor, Tyler, Tucker, Matt.
Everyone who listens.
Good night, Matt.